Welcome back to Good Morning Texas. We have reporter Rachel Melanson in the News and Weather Center with the latest. What's happening, Rachel?
If you're in a rush on Speedway, be prepared for upcoming construction. Speedway Street on the UT campus will begin its transformation into a pedestrian mall on October 26th. Yellow pavers will replace the asphalt and there will be large amounts of parking eliminated along with vehicle traffic. The Speedway makeover is intended to create a more relaxed vibe for pedestrians by giving students a recreational area to enjoy. And if you needed a tutor delivered at homework hour, there will soon be an app for that. The Daily Texan reports 4 UT students have recently created an app called Tutor. The app is designed to pair students with tutors of their specific needs. Similar to the convenience of Uber and Favor, students will be able to find a tutor with the click of an app on his or her phone. Tutors of all levels and disciplines will be able to register and set their own prices. The app is set to release this Halloween. Binge watchers, your habits will now come at a higher price. Netflix announced last week that it is now raising the monthly subscription price by $1 from $8.99 to $9.99. This price increase will allow each customer to have 2 simultaneous high-definition streams, but current members, no need to panic yet. Netflix said that its current subscribers will not be affected by the price change for a year. That's your news of the week. Back to you.
Thanks, Rachel. Well, I was really surprised about that Netflix subscription change.
I know, that's going to definitely affect my life because I know I love to watch Netflix. So, anyway, but it's okay. It's totally fine. I know I'm still going to watch Netflix anyway, so, but it's good to know. It's good to know.
Definitely.
So, how's our weather looking, Rachel?
It looks like the summer heat does not want to say goodbye and will continue into this week. Today we will have sunny skies with a high of 96. The sunshine will be out all week. However, expect a slight drop in temperature into the low 90s and high 80s as we approach the weekend. Moving into this evening, you can expect clear skies and a nice drop into the low 60s. As we move further into the week, the evenings will remain in the low 60s with temperatures dipping into the high 80s on Sunday. Enjoy the sunrise while you can because beginning Monday, you will want to pack an umbrella due to a 20 to 60% chance of rain and thunderstorms throughout next week. Whether you want to study at a local coffee shop or take a walk around the city this weekend, it's looking like a nice forecast. For your news and weather, I'm Rachel Melanson. Back to you.
Thank you, Rachel. Oh, my goodness, that weather.
I know. I really was hoping for some cooler weather, but I guess not. It'll come eventually, though. Patience is key. Now, when we come back, a quick recap of last night's Democratic presidential debate. Well, last night, CNN hosted the campaign season's first Democratic debate. Joining me now to discuss is TSTV News political correspondent Cassie Pollock. Cassie, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me a little bit about what happened during the debate.
All right, so you had Jim Webb, O'Malley, Clinton, and Sanders all there on the stage, and it was a really productive debate, I thought. Gun control came up a lot, and kind of what policy we should be taking up on that. Benghazi came up, a lot of economic talk, economic wages, economic inequality, relations with Syria, and then you didn't hear so much about abortion, Planned Parenthood, and whatnot. So
okay, so I heard that Bernie Sanders was someone who really surged in the polls, and Clinton was said to be the winner, however, by the different media outlets like CNN. So what would you have to say about that?
So CNN, yes, they did put Hillary Clinton as the front runner. They said she won. And then you had other online outlets such as Fox, I know Fox Online, said that Sanders won. Also, the Washington Post said that Sanders won the debate. But you did have Sanders come up as #1 in searches and mentions in Google, Facebook, Twitter last night. And Donald Trump, he's live tweeting the whole debate, and he even put out a tweet saying good move by Sanders. So a little bit of back and forth. In terms of talking time, they both got about the same time. Hillary Clinton got about almost 24 minutes of speaking time, and Bernie Sanders got 22 and a half minutes of speaking time. So definitely the top two of the debate, for sure.
So do you think people like O'Malley and Webb, do you think they were able to kind of stand out, or do you think people kind of overlook them because of Clinton?
I would say, Chafee is, he's polling at 1% right now, and Webb has some similar polling results right now. So, they were able to make a good case. However, I think that as we continue to progress, it's going to continue to be Sanders and Hillary Clinton. Maybe Biden, if he decides to throw his hat in the ring, we're still going to see on that. But, they had good points that they had to make, that they had to make. But, the person who came in third for speaking had 13 minutes. So, definitely different amounts of talking time when compared to Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton.
Right. So, but you don't think there was a definitive change in people's opinions of these other candidates who aren't as popular?
I don't think so. Chafee came out early on, taking some swings at Hillary, saying we have to have a president who has the highest ethical standards, but, obviously referencing to her recent email scandals that have been going on. So you have a little bit of that, but I think for the most part, if anything, people's perception of Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton was just clarified. And, they clearly thought that between the two of them, somebody between them won the debate.
Right. And I'm not sure how you would be able to predict this, but I think it would be an interesting question. Do you think if Hillary Clinton got the nomination, Sanders could be her running mate, for example? Or do you think anyone from the Democratic Party who's running for president?
Gosh, I mean, we're still over a year away from the actual election, and it's so hard to tell. Anything can happen. That's, the number one thing about these presidential, campaigns and elections is anything can happen. If Hillary does end up getting the nomination, we'll see. Bernie Sanders did step in and defend her, probably the most quoted thing of the night. People are sick and tired of hearing about your emails. So, anyways, we'll see. Well, I guess, yes, we will see about that. Anything can happen.
Right. Well, again, thank you for coming on this morning. We really appreciate it. You can catch Cassie on Wednesday on Tower Talks. When we come back, we have a GMTX exclusive interview with one of Austin's rising musicians. Keep it here on GMTX.
Austin musician and native Shakey Graves was in town this past week for a performance at Stubbs Barbecue and to perform at both weekends at the ACL Music Festival. GMTX's Amy Botello sat down with Alejandro Rose Garcia, aka Shakey Graves, to talk with him about his musical beginnings and how he is adapting to his rising fame.
Reporting from Stubbs in Austin, Texas, the legendary music venue. As you can hear, I am here with Mr. Shakey Graves. I'm Amy Botello. Good morning, Texas. Okay, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you for taking the time. Well, I want to list off your credentials, if I may. Can I embarrass you with that? Because there are a lot.
Sure, what do you have? Yeah.
Well, I think TV debut on Conan O'Brien. You've been on Letterman before he left. It was very impressive. Seth Meyers, you had your own ACL TV show back in May of this year.
Taping. Yes.
Thank you. You closed out Blues on the Green this year.
Yes.
You're going to ACL again for what, the second or third time?
The second time, the first actual time playing the both weekends of the festival. Yeah.
Okay, very impressive. The newest award, Best Emerging Artist Award at the 2015 Americana Music Awards.
That's right.
Amazing credentials. What was the tipping point for you? What was that point where you knew, oh my God, this is happening?
To me, it's not really tipping point-ish.
Okay.
There's, you can look back at a lot of moments and be like, oh, or even be present on a stage every once in a while and be like, how did I get to this point? The Americana Music Awards, I got to play at the Ryman Auditorium in Nashville. And winning an award was amazing, but it was really secondary to even being allowed in a room, So it's like, those kind of moments, I was like, whoa, like that's when it became surreal to me. Not like it was a tipping point, but I was like, wow, a bunch of things I did in sequence allowed me to be standing on one of the like most sacred spaces in country music history, where Elvis has stood, and Johnny Cash, and I mean, if you can name them, Hank Williams Sr. I mean, the Grand Ole Opry was right. It's like that same spot kind of thing.
I know you. I know that you come from a very creative family. Your mother was a former professor at UT. Playwright, actress, musician. Your father also a musician. Your sister also incredibly talented with acting and whatnot, and all the things she's pursuing. How has growing up with that in that environment informed what you do?
I was raised around a lot of creativity and a lot of intentional, not just sort of like, well, let's have a play and do things like, Austin, kind of old school Austin theater folks, and when you start to engage in new parts of performance, like me trying to put together a show and stuff, and build a band and explore the performance that I try and put out, has been totally informed by like working in theater and building a show and building cues, and there's just lots of stuff that you can take away, and learning how to rehearse, and I mean there's like, it's important to keep people happy, to know how to work with other folks. That's all really happy. Like, I'm happy I got to see a lot of that from productions happen when I was younger. Being responsible for your music and being responsible for your band, I'm kind of finding out is sort of two different things, which is really nice to me. Is that, in one level it's important to do your music justice the way that you portray it.
Right.
And at the same time, it's sort of inappropriate inappropriate, mind you, to write a bunch of stuff and then expect other people to be responsible for the stuff that you write. So, if I record a song where I do the harmonies and I do all the guitar parts and I add the drums, and then I bring people in and get really frustrated that they're not doing exactly what I'm doing. To me, that's just a much harder uphill climb.
Any words of advice for aspiring creatives, suggestions, pitfalls to avoid?
Yeah,
that you haven't already mentioned.
Don't aspire to be creative, just be creative. The way that I learned how to navigate club world and music world was by going to shows, and instead of just hanging around and seeing my friend's band, helping them carry gear, talking to production, running sound if you can, trying to run lights, schlepping things, carrying things around, like, I mean, anything. Like, if you want to, as long as my opinion or presence is valued by at least one other person, I think it's worth your time. That's nothing to sneeze at. And it's something that, like, everybody needs, and it'll help you be a better whatever it is you're doing. If you like photography, go be a photographer's assistant. If you work at a photo developing place, or, just do stuff. Just do stuff.
Just do stuff.
Like, drawing in your meantime when you're bored isn't a waste of time. You're still drawing. And then maybe you draw something and you sell it to somebody, and they're like, oh, here's $5. You're an artist. Like, it's crazy.
Thank you to my guest, musician Shakey Graves. I'm Amy Botello. Good morning, Texas.
Well, Katie, that was definitely an interesting interview. I feel like I learned a lot about Shakey Graves.
Yeah, and it's great to see someone from Austin, who's rising up and breaking out. It's great to see that local talent. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you guys for tuning in this morning. For more updates throughout the week, follow us on Twitter at Good Morning Texas. Good Morning TX. We'll see you here next week.
Have a marvelous morning.